So Julian Love signed a contract just about a week ago of a contract extension on the 1-year deal that he had remaining on his contract. And I said at the time, be careful before freaking out on this, because people see 3 years and $36 million that gets first reported and they say, oh, we're right back into it. We're paying safeties again. Why would you do this? Didn't we learn our lesson? We're going to pay the safeties top of the market money again. Oh, I know he's a pure fit for the scheme, but again, this is why I say hold off, give it a couple of days. The agents always release the numbers initially and they make the numbers look cherried up. They're not that cherried up. Give it another look. And certainly when we go back in and look at the numbers of this deal, we understand that it looks really good. The Seahawks tacked 3 years onto the final year of his remaining contract. They lowered down his base salary this year to a $1.465 million base salary. So it's just kind of the signing bonus that's in on the hook in the way that this deal works, which means that they lowered down his cap by about $1.5 million was taken off for the rip here. And so that does mean you get a little bit more cap space for right now, in the here and now. And then when you look at the parameters of the deal, it's actually pretty tasty from the Seahawks perspective of this. They ended up working this deal out very nicely. When you sign a 3-year deal like this, I always say don't really worry about year 3 or year 4 in this deal, because you can always in these deals get out by year 3 of it. It's really the first 2 years of the deal. You're really kind of locking in on the cost. What is their cap hit those years of the deal? So this year, cap hit, $6.5 million to Julian Love, lowered down by approximately about $1.5 million of what he was due. Next year, the cap hit is going to be at $6.1 million. And then it starts to elevate. Then it starts to climb over the next couple of seasons after that point. But you get to year 3, to my point on this, he has a $13.2 million cap hit, but you can save $8.2 million by moving off of him at that time if you wanted to. So once he does get up to the point of starting to cost that amount of money, if the performance is not matching the pay and you got 2 years to see if that's going to be the deal in this defense, you can cut away from him and the cost is not going to be that great. The dead money will not be that substantial, especially we're talking 3 years down the line and the cap by that point being up maybe damn near $275 million when it's all said and done by that point. So the Julian Love contract was actually a really good deal for your Seattle Seahawks here. You save some money in the interim. You get some longevity of security there at the position where you didn't have a lot of guarantees going forward here as it stood. And quite frankly, over the past couple of drafts, safety, much like the tight end position, has been one of those spots that's been very hard to find really good high-level prospects. You might have a couple of good ones, and then they quickly get plucked off the board, and you're in the grocery, you're out there at the mall in that, like Nordstrom's, and you're over there on the racks, aisle where they've got all the small sizes and the triple X larges. And you're like, none of these really kind of quite fit for what we want. Or I don't think this is, I wouldn't work good in this. You got a guy that's stable and steady, who's a pure fit for this scheme and what he brings. He's been in this kind of defense before. He knows what's required of it. He can play all of the positions you need him to play within this defense. He should ascend within this defense, or not ascend, at least play very solidly. Bottom line, brass tacks is you got him for 2 years and about $12 million really on the overall cost for the next couple of years. And that's a very, very feasible deal for your Seattle Seahawks. So well done, John Schneider. Good deal on this one. Love the contract here. Love the fact it gives them that security, and they're not going to be driven to potentially desperation next year, where if Love went to free agency and then you weren't really liking what you got from Jenkins, you might find yourself in the boat where you're having to go find 2 safeties out there in the open market in an offseason. And that might be in a case where you find yourself in a draft where there aren't really many great safeties in the draft in addition to that. So avoiding that, getting out ahead of that, smart move, good move. Congrats to Julian Love, and hopefully he will be able to really fit in this defense like I think he will.